I felt a bit embarrassed about the amount of pain I was in, especially when my nipples were actually bleeding. I thought I should just know what to do and that I was failing as a mother. I may be a certified breastfeeding counsellor now, but believe me, my own breastfeeding journey was anything but smooth sailing. I made plenty of mistakes with both my babies, and I'm here to share those hard earned lessons with you. Breastfeeding is an amazing, natural way to feed your baby, but it comes with a bit of a learning curve. In this video, I'm sharing 7 key mistakes I made as a new breastfeeding mum. I hope me sharing my mistakes will help you avoid them so you can be better prepared than I was. If you're new or expecting mum, this video is for you. Mistake number 1 was not educating myself enough about breastfeeding before my baby arrived. I knew I wanted to breastfeed, but I didn't take the time to really understand how it all worked or what problems might come up. I thought breastfeeding would just click, but there's actually quite a lot to learn. Things like ensuring a proper latch, knowing the signs that your baby's getting enough milk, caring for sore nipples, not to mention challenges like engorgement, leaking, or even mastitis and clogged ducts. In hindsight, if I read up on breastfeeding a bit more while I was still pregnant, or paid more attention at the prenatal breastfeeding class, I would have felt much more prepared. Knowing what to expect can help you recognise what's normal and when to seek help. So my advice, educate yourself. Learn the basics of how breastfeeding works and what to expect. The more you know, the more empowered you'll feel to handle any curveballs that come your way. By the way, make sure to grab my free guide, 10 Ways to Make Breastfeeding Easier, linked below. It's packed with tips to help you on your breastfeeding journey. The second mistake I made was trying to do it all on my own. As a new mum, I felt pressure to have everything figured out, including breastfeeding. I felt like it was my first real test as a mother, and I was determined that I could do it. But here's the thing, there's no shame in asking for help. My husband was amazing and very supportive of my determination, but I wish I'd leaned on him a bit more at the beginning for some practical support. When I'd had a bit of a word with myself, I managed to turn this around and he became very proficient at having a good old look to see if my baby was latched well, plus the best baby burper I've ever known. I remember hesitating to reach out to professional breastfeeding specialists. I attended some drop-in sessions, but I felt a bit embarrassed about the amount of pain I was in, especially when my nipples were actually bleeding. I thought I should just know what to do and that I was failing as a mother. I look back now and realise, of course, that this was silly. When I did explain my issues more clearly, they were able to spot that my baby had tongue tie and encouraged me to take my baby for an assessment, which resulted in a frenectomy. What a relief that was. So whether you're unsure about your baby's latch or wondering if they're gaining weight properly, please, please, please know that it's always okay to seek guidance. Asking for help is a sign of strength, not weakness. Mistake number 3 was assuming that the position I used for my first baby would automatically work for my second baby. With my firstborn, we quickly settled into a comfortable cradle hold for feedings. So when my second baby arrived, I didn't really think about trying different positions. I just assumed we used the same hold and everything would click. Of course, I knew everything, didn't I? Because I'd already breastfed my first for 14 months. But it turned out that every baby is unique. What feels comfortable for one may not be the best fit for another. My second baby had laryngomalacia, which was only diagnosed after 10 weeks, which meant he needed a more upright position to feed comfortably. Sticking stubbornly to the cradle hold, I knew, actually made things harder for both of us. It wasn't until I started experimenting with different positions that things improved. We tried laid back nursing, sideline, the football hold, until we found what worked best for him. For us, it meant a more upright position that helped with his reflux and breathing. The lesson here is to be open to trying different holds and positions, even if you've breastfed before. The fourth mistake I made was not always making sure my baby had a deep latch, especially in the early days. When you're a new mum, it's not always easy to tell if your baby's latch is shallow or deep. But getting a good, deep latch is so important for effective milk transfer to your baby and avoiding nipple trauma, amongst other things. Some signs your baby's latch might be shallow include painful nipples during or after feeding, clicking or smacking noises while baby feeds, misshapen or compressed nipples after feeding, your baby frequently slipping off the breast, slow or no weight gain. If you suspect your baby's latch isn't quite right, it's okay to gently unlatch them and try again, a few times if needs be. I know it can be tough when your little one is hungry and fussy, but trust me, it is worth taking the time to get a deep latch. Check out my video here or here about how to get the perfect latch. If you're struggling with latch, please unlatch by popping your little finger in the corner of their mouth to break the seal. Take a breath to reposition if you need to, and then try again. You can get your partner or breastfeeding coach to help with this too. A good latch is the foundation of positive breastfeeding experience. It's worth investing the time to get it right. The fifth mistake I made was trying to put my baby on a feeding schedule instead of trusting their hunger cues. I thought I needed to have my baby on a predictable schedule, was so focused on the clock that I sometimes missed or overlooked my baby's early hunger cues. But here's the thing. Babies aren't robots. They have unique needs that can vary from day to day and even hour to hour. Some may feed quickly, others leisurely. Some may space their feedings a bit further apart, while others cluster feed. The key is to let your baby take the lead and trust that your body will produce what they need. Trying to force a schedule can actually work against your breastfeeding goals. Let me know if you want me to do a video about early and late hunger cues for your baby, and I'm more than happy to do that. Newborns especially need to feed frequently, often 8 to 12 times in 24 hours. Their tiny tummies empty quickly, and those frequent feedings help establish your milk supply. Instead of watching the clock, learn to trust your baby's cues. Keep your little one close and offer the breast whenever they show signs of hunger. This helps ensure they're getting enough milk and supports a healthy supply. The sixth mistake I made was not prioritizing skin-to-skin time, especially in the early days. With my first baby, we were in hospital for a week after delivery, and it was challenging to find uninterrupted time for skin-to-skin. I'll confess, I was also very excited to dress her in all those adorable newborn outfits we'd been given. When my second baby arrived, I was busy caring for a toddler too. Again, I found myself letting skin-to-skin time slip into the busyness of juggling two kids. But I learned that skin-to-skin contact is so much more than just a nice thing to do. It's actually a powerful tool for supporting breastfeeding and bonding. When your bare baby is placed on your bare chest, amazing things happen. Their temperature, heart rate, and breathing regulate. Stress hormones decrease for you and your baby. Breastfeeding hormones increase and help with milk production. Your baby's natural feeding reflexes are stimulated. Not to mention, it's a wonderful way for the two of you to bond. Skin to skin is beneficial immediately after the birth, the golden hour, but it's also valuable in the weeks and even months that follow. Aim for skin to skin time daily, even if it's just a few minutes at a time. I know it can feel like there's always something else that needs to be done, especially if you have other children. But try to prioritize that precious skin-to-skin time. It doesn't have to be long. 10 to 15 minutes at a time can make a difference. Lastly, the seventh big mistake that I made was starting to pump too early, before my milk supply was well established. My first baby, I was so eager to build a freezer stash that I started pumping just a couple of weeks after delivery. I thought I needed that stockpile of milk just in case. But here's what I learned. Those early weeks are a critical time for establishing your milk supply. When you breastfeed frequently and on demand, you're sending your body the signal to make enough milk for your baby's needs. Introducing a pump too soon can actually disrupt the natural supply and demand rhythm. Your body is remarkable. It knows how to make the perfect amount of milk for your baby. In those early weeks, trust the process and focus on nursing frequently and responsively. There'll be plenty of time for pumping and building a stash later on. Unless there's a medical reason to pump straight away, it's generally best to wait till around 4 to 6 weeks postpartum to start pumping regularly. Of course, everyone's situation's different. Some mums need to return to work sooner and may need to start pumping earlier to build a stash. If that's the case for you, Just be sure to pump after or between feedings, not in place of nursing sessions. And if you're pumping because you're concerned about low supply, check with a breastfeeding coach or lactation consultant first. They can help you assess your supply and develop a plan. If you want to take your breastfeeding knowledge to the next level, make sure to download my free guide, 10 Ways to Make Breastfeeding Easier. Just click the link in the description. I hope these lessons from my breastfeeding journey have been helpful for you. If you found this video valuable, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more breastfeeding and motherhood content. And I'd love to hear from you. Share your stories, tips, or questions in the comments below. I'll see you next time.